side, please stay with us as we stay on this region. Now, Virginia is emerging as the newest front in a growing mid-decade redistricting battle sparked by the U.S. President Donald Trump, as Democrats in Richmond consider joining California in efforts to reconfigure congressional maps to their benefit. Democratic leaders have called Virginia lawmakers into a special session to debate a plan aimed at countering Republican efforts to boost their U.S. House seats through recent redistricting moves in multiple red states. The Republicans, including Trump, have openly admitted that the new congressional maps in Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina are designed to secure their narrow U.S. House majority in the 2026 midterm elections. Democrats have condemned the redistricting efforts as Trump's attempt to manipulate next year's highly contested races, where Democrats only need to flip 3 Republican seats to regain the U.S. House majority. Now, for this discussion, we welcome back David K. Johnston. He's an American author, joins us live from New York. Thank you very much, David, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, how might Trump's endorsement of aggressive redistricting in red states influence the 2026 midterm elections, and could this be possible?
Well, normally we redistrict after each census, and the only exceptions to that I can recall ever studying or writing about involved maps that were thrown out because they violated the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and there had to be new districts drawn to avoid racial gerrymandering. The efforts here are going on over the country where the Republicans started this and the Democrats said, well, we're going to play the same hardball game you're playing. This is not good for the Republic. I think, however, the Republicans are making a big mistake, and this is a contrarian view. But where you redistrict so that you can get black Democrats in the South voted out of office by changing the boundaries, you also run the risk that Democrats can win, because you're going to take districts that are maybe 54, 55, 56% Republican, and you're going to have to dilute them so that they're 51 or 52% Republican. That means if the Democrats can get the vote out, which they have not been very good at in recent years, they can defeat Republicans. That is, they could turn the redistricting effort in red states and southern states into an opportunity to win even more seats in Congress, provided they get out the vote in the newly crafted districts.
And how do you think, in what ways could Trump frame Democratic counter-redistricting efforts in Virginia as a political attack on his base?
Well, that's exactly what he is doing, what you've described. I mean, first of all, his surrogates have been describing the Democratic Party as not a political party at all, but an extremist organization. They have suggested that the Democratic Party is completely legitimate. They won't even call it the Democratic Party. They call it the Democrat Party, which is a subtle slur against the Democratic Party. Donald operates very much on the system of do as I say, not as I do. And you see this in the redistricting fights around the country. It's woken up a number of Democrats, however, to say, we're not going to continue to pose as the really good guys. We're going to get down and dirty with you and adopt your approach and tactics for this election, only for this next coming election.
And lastly, David, what strategic advantages or risks does Trump face if redistricting battles becomes a central issue in the 2026 campaigns?
Well, I find it hard to imagine that it would be a central issue. Americans, as the great political scientist V.O. Key showed over 60 years ago, A, vote their pocketbooks, and secondly, tend to vote on visceral issues like how's my job, how's the economy going, not on rather academic and high intellectual issues like the drawing of district boundaries for congressional districts. That's just not an issue that moves voters. But if the Republicans have miscalculated and the Democrats get out the vote, instead of just winning 3, 4, 5 seats that would put the Democrats back in control of the House, it's entirely possible they could win several dozen seats, have a significant majority, and really stymie Trump's next 2 years, as well as running investigations of him.
Right, we'll be eyeing that all. Thank you very much, David K. Johnston, for joining us as an American author and sharing that insight all the way from New York. Now we stay in the region. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced that he will be meeting